All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started, and whoever comes in after we get started, I'll just let them in. Um, so first, I want to thank everybody for attending our first Next Gen Career Launchpad. Extending great welcome to everybody that's in this room this evening, and I'm gonna try not to keep y'all up here long. I'm gonna try not to, because we got a few things we got to cover. So a little bit about myself. My name is Alfonso Parker. I'm one of the youth career advisors at NCWorks Craven. We're under Next Gen, WIOA, all that good stuff. Um, and and all this stuff, Next Gen and WIOA, and I'll get into it once we get into the presentation. Um, a little bit about our program. We help youth ages 16 to 24 get their GED or other equivalent to high set. We also help with get acquiring training like forklift, HVAC, all that other stuff. And we also pay for all that stuff too. So, but we're gonna get into it. So if you are in this event and you are a person that's 16 to 24 and you just dropped out of high school, you got to start thinking about your future. So these some questions I feel like you should ask yourself. Am I feeling stuck? Do I feel like I'm just going in reverse, going nowhere? Or what about figuring out what type of work you would like to do and actually be good at it? Or needing a real plan to get the skills and experience so you can score that job or that career? And what if you could make money while learning new skills? So that's a brief introduction about Next Gen WIOA. So I want you guys to think of us as is a crew of people that got your back, basically to help you get your career. And we're powered by the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, otherwise known as WIOA. So whenever y'all see WIOA in this presentation, it stands for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. It is a federal law that helps people get the skills they need for good jobs, aka careers. And I want you to think of NextGen and WIOA as a bridge to a brighter future. So keep that in mind. So this is the big one, eligibility requirements. Generally, with any type of program, you have to be eligible to be able to participate in that program. And NextGen and WIOA is no different. So the biggest one is you got to be 16 to 24. And especially if you are a male, you have to be registered for selective service. That's a big one. That's another thing we can actually help you get registered for as well. Um, we often focus on young people who need help finishing high school. And I got that in red on purpose. So we're going to circle back to that one. Um, looking for a job such as EKG, pharmacy tech, early childhood education, CNA, etc. And you face challenges like low income. You may be an individual with a disability. You may be pregnant or parenting, having a criminal record. We listen, but we don't judge. And you may be homeless. So let's go back to the high school, finishing high school. So if you come into our office, you get in contact with either I or Miss Crystals. I think she just came on. Um, that is an automatic qualifier for our program. So you say you come in here, I dropped out of high school, I'm looking to get my GED. That's automatic. That means you're in. No questions asked. So what's in it for you? It's a lot of benefits. So one of the biggest ones is career guidance. That's what we do. We advise you. We are career advisors. So we advise you. We try to help you figure out what you're good at and what jobs are out there. Education. That's a big proponent of our program. We support you in finishing your diploma or getting your high school GED. The short-term training, just like we alluded to in the last slide, you learn skills that employers actually want. Employers want somebody to be able to drive a forklift, I mean, HVAC, that's a big one. Healthcare, that's another one, especially in this area. Work experiences. Get paid to learn on the job through work experiences and on the job training. So you're getting paid to learn, and it can evolve into a career. And we can set you up with some mentors. There's people out there that has sat in your seat, that's been in your shoes. We actually link you with those people and help you get that extra support. Money smarts. We have programs. I know we got something coming down the pike, and Miss Crystal, you could correct me if I'm wrong, that we're gonna be doing the financial literacy exercise at our center. And that's a big thing. If you're working and making money, you got to know how to manage it. And supportive services. So we help with things like tuition, books, childcare, and even just getting the right clothes for an interview. And to put a little note on that one, like if you go to class and let's say you go into welding, we actually help you get the materials that you need, like your jacket, your helmet, your gloves, and all that good stuff. So getting the skills that you need. These are some of the short-term trainings that's covered. It's a whole lot of them. It was too many of them for me to put in this presentation. But if you wouldn't want me to, I could actually get y'all the list and everything. So we actually cover forklift certification, central sterile processing, working on diesel engines, early childhood education, both of them, an EKG technician, heavy equipment technology, CDL certification, what NCCER welding 1 and 2, NCCER electrical 1 through 5, HVAC, plumbing, pharmacy tech, automotive systems technology, and so much more, just like I said. And I put an asterisk beside the early childhood education because some of the trainings like that, you will have to use financial aid, but there's no worries because we will cover what financial aid doesn't. And it's a typo there. Y'all forgive me. So with WIOA Youth, we have 14 key elements that we work on. These are, if I could break it down into layman's terms, it's services that we provide. So we offer tutoring. We help you and support you in getting your high set or GED. The work experience, both paid and unpaid. Job skills, that training, those short-term trainings I just talked about. Learning while you earn. If you combining school and job training, so you could actually go to school and still get your training. Um, Leadership development, learning teamwork skills. Because teamwork, if you're working on an assembly line or something in a factory, or even if you're driving a forklift, you got a team of people around you. You got to learn how to work on that team. There's no I in team. Um, the supportive services like bus passes. I know we don't have bus transit around here, like in the city and stuff, but we actually those supportive services covered like the tuition and all that good stuff, and connecting with a mentor. We also support you after you get your job. That's what we like to call the follow up. We follow up with you. Um, the guidance, because everybody faces challenges. We all do. And we put you in the position where you can actually get help if you have faith, if you those challenges become overwhelming for you. The budgeting, the money smarts and all that. Boss moves. This is my favorite one. We can actually point you in the right direction into you becoming an entrepreneur if that's something that you desire. Knowing the jobs and know the jobs that's hot and where the money is at, we put you in there. We put you in that position, and then we prepare you for what's next. So if you want either more training or you want to go to college, we can actually assist you in like doing financial aid, what to expect when you go to college and all that good stuff. So how do you get started? So the first thing is first, you contact your local NCWorks Career Center. So if you live in here in Craven County, you want to contact NCWorks Craven County, and that's at 2836 News Boulevard here in New Bern. And the number is 252 514-4828. And if you live in Duplin County, that number is 910-275-6470. And if you're either in any one of those counties, remember, please set up an account on NCWorks. That is paramount and that is important. And all the links to that will be in the chat. So if you look at the chat, all the links to this is in the chat. So please take control of your game. Unlock your potential. Don't let these opportunities pass y'all by. If you really want to make a change, don't let it pass you by. If you partner with us, with NextGen and WIOA, you could get the skills that you need, you get that experience, and in turn, you can launch a successful career because it's your future. We're investing in your future. So if you want somebody to make that investment, partner with us. So now this is the part where this is where I need everybody to participate that have questions. So if you have any questions, the floor is yours. Don't everybody speak at once.
Can you talk about what you do for the enrollment process?
That's great. So for the enrollment process, it's like a two-parter. So if you decide to want to come to us, first of all, we're gonna call you and you come meet with one of us, and then we'll tell you we're gonna need a few pieces of documentation. So we're gonna need your birth certificate, social security card, ID, and if you have a disability, we will need your most current psychological evaluation. Um, Now, if it's like a physical disability or something like that, we'll probably need it. You can probably get that from your doctor. But if it's like mental health or something, you have to get it from the person that diagnosed you or however that works. And the one thing about those psychological evaluations, they are like booked months out, so you will have to like do some hustling. So once you get past all that, you get us the documentation. You come in for enrollment. First of all, we have you take the TABE test. I think it's a special. It's like a basic skills test, and you will take the reading and math, and that part shows where you are right now. And if like 6 months go by and you still in school and you still doing something, we probably come get you to take that again. And then after the TABE, for lack of better terms, you'll be signing a lot of documentation. We'll go over your individualized employment plan, and that's just setting your goals. Like if you're going to GED, your goal is to earn your GED, and your objective is how you're going to earn it, what you're going to do to go get it. And then once we get through all that, of course, we sign and everything, and then you're in the program. Did I do it good, Miss Crystal?
Is there an age requirement on this program?
Yes, the age requirement, you have to be between the ages of 16 and 24.
And what if you're an individual beyond 24?
So if you're beyond 24, our program can't help you, but we can actually refer you to another one of our partners.
Okay.
So if you're like 25, I can refer you to a partner. But let's say you turn 24 on Monday. Excuse me, 25 on Monday. We could still help you. You just got to hustle to get all your stuff together.
Okay. Are the classes primarily going to be at Craven Community College?
Yes, the majority of our participants, they are enrolled either at Craven Community College, the main campus. They have a Craven Community Havelock campus that's probably like 30 minutes away from here, and they have the Volt Center, which That's where you get your forklift and your HVAC and stuff, and it's kind of fast paced and it's really short term. I know the forklift is like 3 weeks, but you leave out of there with like 5 certifications.
Okay.
We
I
also
mean,
cover Pamlico and Duplin as well.
Right.
And
Pamlico and Dublin.
Duplin, and Duplin, you would attend classes at James Front Community College, but if they are not offering the class at James Front Community College, I had a student that went over to Coastal Carolina, which is in Onslow County, to take the class that she needed.
And that was Miss Penny. Miss Penny Thorne. She's down in Duplin County, down in Keanesville. Are there any
what
more?
about
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
what, what about something like cybersecurity and and programming or cybersecurity and networking?
So I will have to actually check on that one. I'll have to check if that's an approved training that we could actually cover. But I think I got your email from Miss Jacqueline earlier, so I could actually look up that when I once I get back in the office in the morning, and I can email you the information.
Okay. Is there a income requirement that is there a cap on how much you make to qualify for the programs, and is that across the board no matter what county you live in?
Um, and Miss Crystal, Miss Penny, help me if I'm wrong. I think it's like a hair over 15,000 a year, like a single person um family.
Right. And but is if you have any of the other qualifiers, the income would not. So say like if you were a high school dropout,
Yeah, that'd be automatic.
that's an automatic. If you are just as involved, that's an automatic. And so the income would not matter as far as you qualify, because you qualified, your eligibility would be one of the ways that he talked about up front, where he said low income, disability, pregnant or parenting,
Mhm.
having a criminal record, or being homeless. So any of those would qualify you. Just all you need is one.
That's all you
But when
need.
it comes down to
Okay.
the low income piece, you have to so low income, so if you receive food stamps, that's your low income piece right there. And so you wouldn't have
Okay.
to necessarily have the amount for income. But if you do not receive SNAP or something like that, it would be based on your income, but then also basic skills deficiency, like
Mhm.
from the TABE test he talked about, means that you have some skills that you might need to work on. And so that's all that's is saying when they say basic skills deficient.
Mhm.
And so the two of those, low income and basic skills deficient, is the qualifier for the income.
Okay. If I'm an older individual and I've worked, so I have an income um over the past years. Is there a cap on what that income amount will be to qualify me for this program, or is it capped out at 15? You can't make more than 15, or you can't make more than 50. I'm trying to find out how would that signal in if I'm trying to get into this program to get my skill sets higher to make a better income.
That is a real good question. So it's like it's kind of weird how it's set up, but the way Miss Penny was saying, if we would have to like verify that income if it's within the
Okay.
last 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you didn't work at all in May, and the date for your enrollment would probably, let's say it's tomorrow or something like that. Then I would have to go back 6 months and calculate your income like that.
Well, excuse me. I'm really listening to this for my nephew, and he's 19 years old. But I'm
Right.
interested in trying to see if this is something that could work for me in a different county. I actually live out in Raleigh, and I went through this program back in 1990. So I'm a successful person that has gone through this program when it was called WIA. But
Okay.
I'm doing IT now. I'm desktop support, but the money it's capped out at desktop support. You can only make a certain amount of money in this particular field. And in order to catapult me into the next income level, I need to have additional training or additional certifications to push me from being a desktop technician, break fix, account administration, network administration, to push me into cybersecurity with networking or cybersecurity with programming. And I was told at Craven Community College that they have this course available and that this is one of the approved courses through the WOIA program. So they've added another letter, but it's
Mhm.
still the same program because it's universal.
Right.
It's national. So I'm trying to determine that if I'm making money, but I can't get the skills that I need through my employer, because when they give me certifications, it's their certifications to do their job. And if I
Hmm.
leave this job to get a better job, I can't take those certifications with me. They're not Microsoft certifications. So I can't take that certification and say, I've done the work, but I don't have a certification. Like I've done networking, but I don't have a certification in networking. So
Okay, so
I'm trying to overcome that obstacle.
my name is Rashima Walker. I'm the manager here at the NCWorks Career Center.
Hmm.
Do you have an associate's degree?
No, I've never been to college. I took this program
Okay.
in 1990, and I've been in the workforce for over 30 years. I've came through customer service, technical support with mobility. I've gone into break fix. I've gone into uh, not programming, but I did account administration. I've done a lot of lower
Okay.
end IT work. I just can't get to the next level.
Okay, and the reason why I asked because the WIA adult program can pay up to an associate's degree. Now we cover Craven Jones and Pamlico. So if you was in here in the local area, then we can depending on how much you made, because again, it's going to be on income. I mean, if you got to meet the income, and we can calculate that offline, so we're not taking over the presentation tonight. But they're also the nearest career center where you're located there in Raleigh or Durham, where you're located at. But we can take that offline, sir. Um, but yeah, it's going to be based off your 6 months of income to see if you're eligible for the WIOA, because again, that program is for the individuals who are the most needed. So we can talk offline on that. But yes, as long as you can pay up to associate's degree and you meet the income eligibility, like Alfonso stated, then you will be able to enroll, but you would have to also be here in New Bern. Okay. But we can connect you to the nearest career center where you're located if you decide do you want to upskill. That's not a problem.
Okay, thank you. I definitely
Yes,
would
sir.
like to look into that.
Yes, sir. No problem.
All right. Do we have any more questions?
Alfonso, can you talk about the supported services? I mean, what happens if something happens and I need to take a break, or life, my home life is having issues and I can't focus on school. Um, can you kind of talk to that a little bit for
So
me?
if you have any life circumstance, because life is gonna life anyway. The first thing we ask y'all to do is communicate that with us. That's the biggest thing. Just like really reach out to us and communicate. Because just to do a short story, I had a participant where we paid for his tuition and we paid for his books, paid for his materials he needed for class for welding, and come to find out he had some medical things going on, but he didn't reach out to me. So that's the biggest thing. If we understand life happens, I mean we all human here. the biggest thing is just reach out to us and talk to us about it, and then we'll fix it.
Thank you.
No problem.
You mentioned that you mentioned that there's an income requirement. So if he's a 18, 19-year-old young man, but he's living with his grandmother. So I don't know if that qualify him as being a single individual, or do they base income on the total household income, even though he's no longer in high school? How do we qualify him for the income if the income is more than 15,000 for this particular household?
So if he doesn't make it through the income, let me go back. So we'll have to determine which other challenge he may face or which other qualifier that he may can fall up under.
Is he working,
No,
or is the grandmother supporting him?
he's the situation is he's doing something like DoorDash, so it's not really income. It's not steady work. He wants to go to school, but there's a barrier with that with FAFSA, so that's another uh, angle that may be limited to him. And I know that this program would be perfect for what he's trying to do, but
Does your
if it's
mom?
based
I'm
on
sorry.
she's retired, so she's 85. So, but he lives with her right now, and he wants to go to school, and this program would work for him so that he could get the training that he needs, so that he could get situated and to get out on his own. But if he can't make the income requirement because they go by the income of the household, which would be more than $15,000 a year, he wouldn't qualify for this program based on her retirement income. So I was trying to figure out, does he need to file as a individual with no income coming in order to qualify for him, or is there some way to work this because his income is based on what he's making from DoorDash part time at best?
Does your mom receive food stamps? And see, those are like questions we would ask when you would come inside the
Right.
office. Whereas right now you're on with other people who you may not want to share that information with. That's why sometimes we say sometimes it's just better to come into the NCWorks Career Center and then see if based off of the information that you provide to Crystal or Alfonso when you come in there with the young man that
Yeah,
see what it would be
I'll probably,
available. Yeah, and that way you
yeah, I'll
don't
try
have
to
that.
schedule
Now, I don't want you to ask that
something tomorrow.
question, but just so that that would be how they would help you see if you find ways to help him qualify.
Right. 'Cause I think I
Okay,
alluded
okay, yeah,
to it before you came on. Um, that first meeting, that initial meeting that we have, those are the questions that we will ask. Because I
okay,
mean, I know if it was me, I wouldn't want to put my family business out here on a on a thing here. So
Correct.
I mean, we could schedule them to come in, and
yeah,
then
that's
we'll
what I'd
have
like to
that.
do.
Matter of fact, I will get with you tomorrow.
Okay,
I will shoot you an email tomorrow morning, and we could schedule them to come in, and then we'll have that conversation.
sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Are there any more questions, comments, concerns? 'Cause I think we
And
made
you
good
say
time here. So,
the setup for associates or bachelors, is that a 1 year program or a 2 year program if they're going to the community college?
so more often than not, with community colleges, is more of a 2 year program. So they
Okay,
can't go no higher than associates. So
okay, okay,
if he wanted to go to bachelor's, he had to go to like a 4 year university.
okay. I'm thinking in terms if he can do 2 years at a community college and then transfer into a regular college, which is a 4 year college to get his bachelor's. This would be a jump off point to get headed in the right direction.
Right.
Okay.
Any more questions? But first thing first, just make sure he goes to ncworks.gov and create a user account.
Yeah, I will double check. He may already have one, but if he doesn't, we'll
Yep.
build that tonight.
Okay. And if you need a link to it, if you look in the chat, if you're not driving, I hope you're not driving. But if
Uh,
you look in the chat, the link is already in there.
okay. And I have NC work, so I can definitely navigate him to the website and get him
Okay.
signed up.
Okay.
Is there somewhere on that website for the WA that shows the list of the available trainings that he would be eligible to take if he's deemed eligible?
It does. I forget how to get to it, but what I do have a copy of it at my desk at the office. So what I'll
Okay.
do in the morning, I will email you that.
Okay, that'll help because the more information I have, uh, the better prepared I can make sure he is before he comes to see you guys.
Right. Right. I'll make sure I get all that to you.
I appreciate it.
Right. Do we have any more questions before we?
Or if you don't want to answer or ask the question out loud, you can always put in the chat as well.
Yeah, you can utilize the chat for your question. But again, like I said at the top, thank you guys for coming on. And I'll stay on for a little bit longer just in case you have some questions in the chat. Speaking of the chat, we have a Google form that's in there. So if you wasn't a part of the first part of the thing, but you sat through the Q&A session, and if you want us to reach out to you, hit that link in the chat, excuse me. It'll take you to a Google form. You can put your contact information in there. I think I have them pinned to the top. So you should be able to get that. But again, I appreciate y'all for coming out to our first Next Gen Career Launchpad. I hope that the information that we gave y'all, I hope it was useful, and I hope it got some gears turning. And if nobody else has anything, we can go ahead and call this one closed.
One more question. This Teams call that we just participated in,
Yes.
is this something that is recorded where somebody that may have missed a meeting can go back and look at this at a
Yes.
later time?
I'm glad you said that. So I did, in fact, record the meeting
Awesome.
and it'll be available. We actually have a YouTube page.
Okay.
And what I'll do, everybody that came to the meeting, especially after we started, I'll just use your information. I'll send y'all the link to that page. And once I edit everything and get it looking pretty, you'll be able to catch it on our YouTube page.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Alfonso, I just wanted to make a comment. Very good workshop. Appreciated all the information and your PowerPoints. Very good. Thank you for sharing all that great information.
And thank you, Miss Penny, for helping me out here. Because you and Miss Crystal, y'all was a big help for this. And Miss Rashima, appreciate you.
Teamwork.
Yes, thanks, Crystal and Rashima.
Teamwork
It
makes
was
the dream
good.
work.
Yeah, very good
Awesome
workshop.
job.
Yes.
Yes,
Is
Awesome
there
job.
great workshop.
Yes.
is it possible to schedule an appointment with you guys tomorrow, or will appointments be scheduled further out in the future date to meet with you at the office?
Let me see. My Monday is pretty open. So how about Monday?
Well, I'm not in town. Well, I might be in town Monday, so I would like to come with him so that if there's any questions that he might not ask, I would obviously be able to ask since I've done this program in the past. But it sounds like it's more robust than what I went through. So it's I
Right.
think this would be a great opportunity for him to get what he wants and get what he needs through your program. So I will try to make myself available. If in any case, I will make sure that he goes and meets with you guys because that will be the first step to getting him on the way.
Are you
Absolutely.
trying to come in tomorrow, John?
Yes,
Alfonso, my calendar is open and we can work something out if you want to tomorrow, Alfonso. If
Well,
you
if
want
your
to meet
calendar
with me.
open, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. And what I'll do, Mr. John, as soon as I get to work in the morning, I will go ahead and have that information sent to you directly as
perfect.
far as the classes and everything. And I have a couple other things. I'm actually working on my home computer. A lot of my materials is actually on my work computer. So I'll send you all that in the morning.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
All right. So I want everybody to do me a favor. I want everybody to have a good rest of the evening. And again, thank y'all for joining this workshop. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for sharing the
Great
information.
job. And thank you for the great questions, Mr. John.
Yes.
Thank you for just having this program available. For those of you who don't know, this program works if you work it.
Absolutely. So good night, everybody. And again, thank y'all.
Good night. Thanks, y'all.
Good
Good night.
night.